Hello, welcome or welcome back. So please come into a side-sitting position on the floor or on your mat or carpet with your left leg in front of you and your right leg bent behind as much as it's comfortable, and then lean on your left hand. I'm behind you somewhere, so the left hand shouldn't be on your side and not in front, but somewhere behind, and your right hand in front of your face. So that's the iconic starting position of this lesson, which organizes yourself in a way that suggests a turn to the left. And that's what we're going to improve. You can do this sitting on a couch. You can do that with your right leg in front. You can even do it on a chair, whatever is comfortable to you, but then you have to translate the instructions a little bit and take a rest whenever you need a rest. So from our From our starting position, start to turn, just maybe you can close your eyes if you like, and start to turn a little bit to the left and to the right, and you verify if that's true what I said. Is this really a position where you would turn to the left, or where it would be more easy or more natural to turn to the right? And once you try it a couple of times, you really come to yourself, you calm down to be, this is me time or you time, you calm down to be with yourself, and then you start to turn more and more. You turn to the left more and more and keep your hand in front of your face, so that's our constraint. So you turn and turn until it stops to be easy, and then you return. Turn and return. That makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, and then you turn again, and then you return. You return again, and just see where does it stop to be easy. So that's your reference point at the moment. That's how we know how good it is, how far we can turn, how good it is. That's like a quality of feeling and perception and sensing, and how good it is also a means of thinking, how much you can think of this movement. So what can you think of? What can we think of in this movement? So one of the things we can think of is the right ischium, the right sit bone, the right buttocks. How far is your right buttocks distanced from the floor? And when you turn to the left, your right buttocks let your right buttocks, the right ischium, come off more from the floor. And then when you turn back, when you start to face front again, your right ischium comes closer to the floor. And play with that a little bit. So it's like a dog. You think of your behind. The behind is lifting and lowering. And you can also feel the pressure on your left ischium when you turn to the left. So this is what awareness is about feeling difference, about noticing these things. So a turn is not just a turn, but there's shift of weight, leaning points, and don't force your right hip joint down. So it's really not about the hip joint. You will start to notice during the lesson just continue while I'm talking. You will notice it's not about the hip joint, it's not about your knee, but it's about your chest, your flexibility of your back, which will allow you to sit more evenly. What else can we think of? Like last time we were thinking of the ribs coming closer to each other. If you did the last lesson, you know we had these side bending movements. So that's true. It still holds true because it's the same movement. And see, just by playing with these movements, how much it already improves. My God, like just in these 2 minutes where I have been constantly talking, and you hopefully have been turning, it improved by like 10 degrees, maybe even more. So, okay, let's add to it. Take a break whenever you need a break. Please don't strain yourself. You can stop the video at any time and continue at any time. So what is our next movement? So please turn to the left. We review a little bit. Bring your right hand next to your left hand. So distribute your weight kind of evenly between your right hand and your left hand, and face to the left. So I will turn towards you. So I'm facing to the left. So my original position is in this direction, and I turn so I can see you. But you can turn. You can do the same thing actually. So we can look at each other. Okay, but now lift your head and lower your head. Like lower your head to see your left trousers, the pockets of your trousers, or your ischium. You can imagine, where is it? Where is your hip joint? When you lower your head, of course, you pull your belly in, and when you lift your head, you protrude your belly. Your belly comes out, so you can think of your belly moving out and your belly moving in, but you can also think of your right hip joint coming closer to the floor and coming further away from the floor, and your nose going down and your nose is going up when you do these movements. So let's take a moment of silence and just indulge into this movement. Really come to your senses and feel what is moving, how everything is participating, where is movement and where is no movement in yourself. Like you will be able to feel movement everywhere, right down to your right ankle and your toes and your neck and all your fingers. Everything can move in this movement. This kind of strong twist in side-sitting involves our whole being, physically and mentally, because there's so many things we can think of. For example, when you raise your head, when you look up, it's not about the eyes that need to go. It's not about the eyes that need to go up. It's the spine that needs to lengthen. So in order to do that movement, think of becoming long, the whole spine becoming long. But when you throw your head backwards, I mean, that's an eye-opener. When you throw your head backwards, then actually your backside shortens. And we don't want to be short, we want to be long, we want to feel this kind of length. So please find this length when you lift your head. So. Now, please, we take a break and come to sit just for a moment, to sit again. Bring both hands next to your left thigh again, so going to be our starting position, and then turn back to the front. So that's one way of saying it, to turn back to the front, or we could say to turn the shoulders to the right. Turn the shoulders to the right, and when you do this, you will notice the right ischium comes down to the floor and the left knee will come up. And when you lift the left knee further up, you will almost be able to sit like equally. You notice this? This is a thing of the knee. So when you lift your knee, your right hip joint can come closer to the floor actually. So let's try this a couple of times to bring down if you try to force your right hip joint or ischium down, you will just get hurt. And we don't want to hurt. We want to feel well and feel our best, or at least we don't want to feel pain. So it's about the shoulders. The shoulders turn backwards. The left knee might lift a little bit, and then you sit more equally. And back again to the side. So it's a turning of the shoulders to the right. And of course, you can Where do you lean? Do you lean more forwards? Do you lean more backwards? There's many things you can discover for yourself, which might be beneficial, might be in context, contextual, might be unrelated. So, but we don't restrict what we allow ourselves to perceive. All right, and the next time you are to the left, again place both hands on the floor, right hand next to the left hand. Try to kind of distribute the weight equally if that's already available, if that's already possible. And so we had the turn of the shoulders to the right and then turn the shoulders also to the left. So let's stay with the turn to the left a little bit. So you're in this position and you use everything you have got, of course, your pelvis, your legs, your ribs, everything works in favor of the shoulder to turn to the left. And naturally, when you turn the shoulders to your left, your head will most likely also go to the left and your eyes will most likely also, maybe it's the eyes, your eyes, you lead with your eyes, you look to the left, and because you look to the left with the eyes, the head turns to the left and the shoulders turn to the left, and then you come back to the starting position, which is to the left. Your orientation is to the left, and from there you go further to the left. So I turn towards you again. So this is my starting position, this is my front, and then I turn to the left, and then I turn the shoulders even further to the left, and maybe I lead with my eyes to the left, and the nose will follow, and the shoulders will turn. So, and now we will do a differentiation. The head will turn to the left and the shoulders will turn to the left, but deliberately make a conscious movement, you could say a conscious effort to turn the eyes to the right. So the head to the left and the shoulders to the left and the eyes to the right and back to front. Yeah, so you differentiate the eye movements, the eyes to the right, but the head to the left and the shoulders to the left. So this is not you could call it like a mini game, but it's unusual. And it requires a reorganization of how we think about this movement. This will actually affect the brain, the nervous system, the brain structures, because it's such an unusual movement. Yeah, and once you have the feeling, I can do this, once you feel like, that's not a problem, we will go to the right and to the left. So move your head and your shoulders to the left, but the eyes opposite, the eyes to the right. Or the head and the shoulders to the right and the eyes to the left. And then you can combine this movement. The head and the shoulders move together and the eyes always in the other direction. So you continue to breathe, of course, as required, as by life we need to breathe. So try not to constrain or change. Let the movement not influence your breathing badly. Just do what breathing needs to do, and then try to make the eye movements smoother, so that the eyes don't jump around, but the eyes have a smooth movement. And once you're better, move your eyes with your head and the shoulders, or in opposite directions. So either all three go together or the eyes go in the other direction. Or you can at any time change the direction of the eyes. All right, so you probably need to review that again, and then we take a break on the floor. We need to lie down just for a short time to give our nervous system a chance to rest and digest what we just did, and also to see how that feels like when we lie down. So please come onto your back on the floor and feel how that is. Probably there's a stark difference between your left shoulder and your right shoulder. Yeah, so maybe the left shoulder feels like more down to the floor, flatter, softer, maybe warmer. Maybe the right side feels longer. So try to catch these apparent differences and maybe also the more subtle ones. And then we start to continue, so please come back up into your side-sitting position. And then lean on your left hand, have your right hand in front of your face, and we will do the first movement again, our reference movement. Oh, that feels nice actually. Sorry, and then turn to the left and see, oh my God. And see how that is now, how far you go, okay, how far. It's the quality that counts, what happens, what you feel, what you, not just the distance of the journey, the turning to the left, but it's what can you perceive, what are the ingredients of this. That's the fun of it, like the quality. And of course then if it's like wow, so some of you, the ones with the slender spines, you will be able to turn 180 degrees and some might be able to turn 270 degrees. So for me this is already quite good to see like an owl behind me when I use my whole body. Wow! I can see the back. Okay, let's continue. How can we improve this further? So, please, again, lean on your both hands next to your left leg and see if that got to feel a little bit more symmetrical, so that you can distribute your weight on your left hand and right hand equally, and then we turn to the left and turn to the right. Okay, so just to warm up, and then move your head in the opposite direction of your shoulder. So the shoulders turn to the left and the head to the right, and back to the starting position. Or the shoulders turn to the right and the head to the left. So we start very small, just a little small movement, and then make it bigger so we can catch all the details. Actually there, see the sternum? When you lie down on your back, the sternum is in front of your spine. But in this twisted position, the sternum twists around the spine and all the ribs need to move, like all the ribs, how many ribs are there? The floating ribs and the ribs that are attached, and the clavicles, and everything that's inside needs to move in its ways, in its own proportions, but everything needs to move. It cannot be stuck, and for this we cannot force it, we cannot bang on it. We need to invite it politely to move, and we do this by being kind and gentle and slow and not sudden, so everything can ease into this movement of turning to the left and turning to the right, and then the head into the opposite position, the head to the right when the shoulders turn to the left, or the head to the left when the shoulders turn to the right. And now we do the most difficult part, a very unusual pattern. Please try to move your eyes together with your shoulders instead of your head. So usually the head follows the neck, the nose follows the eyes. So usually when you look to the left, the head will turn to the left. But now we let the eyes follow these shoulders. So your shoulders turn to the left, your head turns to the right, but your eyes also turn to the left. Eyes together with the shoulders. So the head is in the opposite direction of the shoulders. So when the shoulders turn to the left, the head turns to the right, but the eyes follow the shoulders to the left. Or the shoulders turn to the right, the head turns to the left, and the eyes follow the shoulders to the right. And once you have that, combine both directions, the shoulders left and right, and the eyes follow the shoulders, but the head moves in the opposite direction of the shoulders. That's a strong, disruptive movement pattern for our nervous system, and it challenges, because usually the eyes always move with the head, it challenges our brain and our nervous system, and by doing so it frees up resources to learn something new and to improve this movement of turning. So try to get it, and if you got it, try to improve it, make it more easy, and once it's easy, you can make it elegant, to make the impossible possible, the possible easy, the easy elegant. And adjust whenever you need, whatever you need to adjust. Take a break whenever you need to take a break. Let's do this on the back. So please come to lie on your back. Take a break and come to lie onto your back. Okay. Take a moment to be on your back. Just feel how it is now, if you still have this tendency, and for me it's even stronger. The repercussions of the movement, I can feel it in my structure. Okay, and then, while you lie on your back, what to do? Move your eyes to the left and back to center again. So you're on your back and you move the eyes to the left and let your head follow naturally. The head moves with the eyes and back to center again. So the eyes to the left and the head to the left and back to the center. And then also think about the shoulders moving to the left. Think about this turn to the left. So you turn the eyes to the left, you turn the head to the left, and you turn the shoulders to the left. Just a little bit on your back. You can't do much. Just it's more like about imagining the movement, kinesthetic thinking. You can close your eyes if you like. So the eyes to the left, the head to the left, shoulders to the left. And then think about your shoulders to the left, but the head to the right. Shoulders to the left, but the head to the right. And once you did this a couple of times, shoulders to the left, head to the right, and eyes to the left. So the eyes follow the shoulders. Or you could think the eyes to the left and the head to the right. Roll your head to the right and your eyes to the left. And at the same time, roll your shoulders to the left. All right, so as this is a video class on YouTube, we don't have like the full hour. That's something you can work on. And let's continue. Let's come up to side sitting again. Please come in the starting position. All right, so you sit, and how do you sit? How do you feel? How did your sitting improve? And then lean on your left hand behind you. Bring your right hand in front of you and try this turn and see how this turn, maybe close your eyes so you don't rush into it, but you ease into it and start to turn a little bit to the left, a little bit more, let everything participate and see how it is. How that improved? Very nice. Okay, and then bring both hands next to your left thigh. So that's the starting position. And just turn to the left and turn to the right. Maybe let your eyes lead this movement and see. It's the same movement like in the beginning, but you feel a lot more about it. Like it's the same thing, but it's like it feels completely different, doesn't it? Because you know so much more about it now. You warmed up into this turn. You're more aware of what's going on, what participate, what's happening about the relationships, how you can make it worse and how you can make it better, how your eyes can participate or obstruct this movement, and even though it's just this simple turn from the left to the right, it makes us feel, you could say better, but it makes us feel more ourselves, isn't it? You just feel more, it's content. And then you can review as needed. Of course, take all the time you need, but I want to conclude this now. Thank you for watching and participating. It's my pleasure if you had any improvements and new findings. All right, and as a last step, we need to see how this feels like, how this is in standing. So please come up to standing and see how it is. So just take a moment to stand on both, of course, both legs. But maybe there's a difference between one leg and the other leg. So maybe you feel like, you feel a tendency to move over one leg and not so much over, okay, yes. And how about turning the head? If you turn the head, how does the turn to the left and the turn to the right? Do you feel a difference? And if you, in a minute, if you look in a mirror, can you see a difference in your face? Can you see a difference in how you hold your shoulders? So you might want to do this lesson on the other side as well. And take a few steps, just feel how it feels like. Being more ourselves again, it just feels so nice. So you might have noticed these little cards I used in this video. If you're interested in these cards, it's a long time project of mine, and I just put the cards online. They are available for my patrons, for my supporters on the patreon.com platform. So if you're interested in that, there's a link in the description. I would be happy to share them to you. All right, so as always, it was my pleasure to present you this lesson, to teach you this class here on YouTube. Please take good care of yourself and see you in the next video.